Hey Libra, welcome to Forever Bliss Tarot with Sky. So we are working on Mercury retrograde readings. As you know, that started today, ends August 29th, and is responsible for all types of miscommunications, technology issues, transportation issues, and just overall glitches in the feng shui of what we want to happen. So want to get ahead of that and just kind of get some messages of clarity, insight on energy that might come with retrograde for your sign. So keep in mind, this is a general reading, collective reading, not a personal reading. So don't force anything to fit that isn't a fit. Use your discernment when listening to tarot always, and just, take it for what it is and leave it where it's at if it's not. So we are going to jump in. I already got everything shoveled beforehand, but I like to do it while on camera as well, so you know that it's done. But let's jump right in and see what the main theme of Mercury retrograde is for the Libra collective. What is in store for the Libra collective this Mercury retrograde? All right, so we have strife, you have arguments, sudden endings, you've got gift, you've got affirm. So, some of you Libras may be dealing with some conflict. We've got third party here, meddling, mind games, manipulation, gaslighting, and just, that whole shebang. That's just a breeding ground for communication issues. You also have gift here. So some of you could be receiving an expression of love, a large sum of money, whoop whoop, a favor given or received, being appreciated. And then you also have affirm with daily affirmation. Words are powerful, releasing negative speech and thoughts, positive reinforcement. So, that could be calling for some of you to change your thought process. Are you focusing on super negative things, which can manifest further negative instances in your life? So just a mindfulness of your thoughts, what you're speaking out loud, what you're speaking to yourself, what you're thinking. Just try your hardest to redirect those thoughts, which I know is hard, but you got to give it a shot. And one of the things I typically do, and I'm a Libra, so, you can't control your thoughts. You think about things that are plaguing your mind. And, when I notice that I'm doing that, I try to quickly say affirmations of positivity out loud just to kind of balance out all that heavy shit I was just thinking about. So that is the main theme of that. Let's get a couple more cards from another deck just to get some other general overall theme of retrograde for the Libra collective. What is in store for the Libra collective? All right, we have possesses an amulet, have it blessed with protection. We also have glamour magic. Perform, learn to do a mirror spell to reflect on what you want. So the scales tip in your favor, and that is just so fitting for that to come out with scales, and I'm doing the Libra reading. So some of you may, and you know what? That actually reaffirms this affirm card that came out. So some of you may just be feeling negative. Some of you may not be happy, you may be hard on yourself, you don't like your hair, your skin looks crazy, you feel this, you feel that, and there is a need to just redirect that thought process so you're not just manifesting more negative thoughts. And just, speak highly of yourself. Go look in the mirror and speak of all the things you do love about yourself rather than the things that you don't like. So just try to redirect it. So we are going to jump right in here and see what obstacles may arise for the Libra collective during this Mercury retrograde. Move these over so we can see. Can you see? Yeah, because I know I got a glare over there. All right, Spirit, what obstacles are going to come up for the Libra collective during this Mercury retrograde? Obstacles that the Libra collective may face during this Mercury retrograde. Hold on, yeah, okay, that's fine. All right, so we've got the Nine of Pentacles, we've got the King of Pentacles, we've got the Ten of Swords, we have got the Sun, And we've got the Nine of Swords on the bottom of the deck because, I wanted to take 5. So Libra, you might be dealing with an ending of sorts there. With the Ten of Swords here, which is air energy, Gemini specific, honestly, it's about something failing. Maybe there was a betrayal. There could have been, a heartbreak situation, something that just involved a painful ending, brought you a lot of anxiety, maybe bringing you a lot of anxiety, because for some of you, this could already be happening, but for some, it hasn't happened yet. So with the Nine of Swords here, it might be something that's just creating an immense amount of depression. Maybe you're having trouble sleeping at night. You have the Nine of Pentacles here as well, which is earth energy. I want to say Virgo. And, it's creating an obstacle because, you're trying to move towards fulfillment, but being in an energy where, you're feeling hurt, you're feeling defeated, you might be dealing with some wounds that are healing. And then you also have this anxiety here. It might be hard for you to just, find that happiness. You have Leo energy here, fire, could be a fire sign, any of them. But, that's about courage and just overcoming obstacles. And, there's a need in your energy to just recognize this is going to come up as an obstacle, and it's going to be something you need to overcome to try to balance out some of those negative feelings. You do have the King of Pentacles here as well, which is earth energy, Capricorn. And, that's, maybe obstacles with feeling grounded, feeling, I don't want to say feeling wealthy, but, just feeling stable, maybe with a lot of unstable emotions, especially when you have such emotionally taxing circumstances that are coming up as obstacles. So, it may be hard for you to feel like you're in a grounded, stable, flourishing type of energy, and you're being called to, try to at least overcome those trials and, look at things from a different perspective, maybe looking, standing in your strength, being confident, being resilient. So that is what you have for that. Let's see what the advice is on how to handle these obstacles. Spirit, how does Libra handle these obstacles that are going to come up during retrograde? What is the best plan of action or approach for Libra to handle these obstacles that may come up? All right, we got 5 right there. So what popped out first was the Queen of Pentacles in reverse. Then you have the 8 of Swords in reverse. You also have the 9 of Wands. You have the Page of Cups, and you have the 3 of Wands. So with the Queen of Pentacles here in reverse, earth energy, Taurus, Virgo, heavy earth energy though, you're in a place where maybe this energy could have possibly left you feeling extremely unstable. The Queen of Pentacles in reverse, she can be a little messy, unkept, maybe very materialistic. Some of you could, be using spending or overspending or buying an abundance of things to help curb some of, the pain you could be feeling from, whatever occurs. If something like this is already happening, that's a common coping mechanism with grief or pain. You just try to camouflage it with little shiny new things and the 1 million things that are on your Amazon list that will make your heart heal or make you feel better, and they really don't. They do for 13 seconds, and then you're back thinking about whatever, and now you've spent a bunch of money. So, the way you overcome this obstacle is just being mindful of, your own stability, being mindful of trying to stay on level ground. Now, the Queen of Pentacles is also, she's got some negative attributes. And deceitful, she can be spiteful, she can be neglecting, insecure, smothering. So, I feel like Spirit is warning you, and the way to overcome that obstacle is by walking away from that energy, so to speak, or just pulling away from that energy, because the next card you have out is the 8 of Swords, which is in reverse. The 8 of Swords, that's air energy, Gemini again. So some of you could be dealing with a Gemini. This can surround a Gemini. Could be a work environment. Could be a relationship. You put it where it goes. It could be you have heavy Gemini placements. But the 8 of Swords in reverse is releasing and just kind of taking the rose-colored glasses off of whatever situation and just kind of taking control of yourself and unfucking yourself. Get unstuck. You see the Eight of Swords there. She's like a girl. She's binded. She's got the blindfold on. She's got all these swords around her. She's tied up, and it implicates self-imposed blocks. But with you having that in reverse, it's you removing yourself from that and kind of just accepting whatever the circumstance is, but not using negative coping mechanisms to do so. It's like that full-on release and just owning the situation, owning your shit, owning an ending, because I mean it is the Ten of Swords and it doesn't get worse than that. You have the Nine of Wands here. That's heavy fire energy, I think specifically Sagittarius, but you know, the way you overcome this obstacle is just resilience, you know, relying on self, defending your boundaries, you know, recognizing that you have given this a good fight, and though you may feel battered and bruised, you are nearing completion. And it's knowing that even with all of the battle fatigue and things like that, you are almost near the completion of moving into a new phase. Like, you know, the Ten of Swords is heavy. That's a heavy phase, and in order for you to get there, you had to endure every other number in the sword suite to get there. And like right now, you got bandages on your head. You see he look rough. He got dirt on his clothes, and it's just like it's battle. It's that battle fatigue, but you're still standing, and that's how you're going to overcome this obstacle, by not letting it defeat you to the point of just giving up on yourself fully. You fought the good fight. You stood your ground, you know, even if it was conflict with another person. Like, you do have this strife over here, strife, arguments, mind games, manipulation, you know, that it's a bunch of bullshit, and a lot of things you got to defend yourself from. And just kind of take yourself out of this energy of feeling like you're stuck in some vortex of bullshit you don't have to accept, because you are not. You also have the Page of Cups here upright. That's Cancer energy, specifically I want to say, but water energy nonetheless. But it's about getting back to that more simple, happy, like just simplistic time. You know, your inner child, being playful, imaginative, just being in a place where things are not so heavy. This Ten of Wands, this Nine of Wands also symbolizes like you have carried one hell of a load. And in order for you to get to a better place, it's time to lighten that load and just get back to some of that, you know, naivety, so to speak. And that's not to say in a bad way, but, you know, when we were children, like, things were so simple. You know, your imagination could run wild. Everything in the world was a possibility, and just nothing really stayed on you too heavy. And then the next card you have is the Three of Wands. That's fire energy, Aries specifically, but it's about growth and expansion. If you look at the card, you see the guy's got his three wands. He's looking out to the ships coming in and kind of has his back turned to that bullshit. So it's about leaving things behind that no longer serve your highest good. It's about putting conflict behind you, putting certain feelings behind you, putting fear, anxiety, sleeplessness, just all the depressive things that can revolve around being in a situation of constant conflict. It's leaving them behind and just expanding your vision, your opportunities moving forward. Some of you could be traveling. So if you know you have been dealing with something like this, now might be the time for you to just get a change of scenery and just go replenish yourself and just get out of your element. But all in all, to overcome this, you have got to realize that you are not stuck here. It's a self-imposed prison. Make sure you're not using, you know, I don't want to say toxic. I don't want to call it toxic, but using, you know, unhealthy coping mechanisms such as overspending. And, you know, just understand you fought the good fight and stand your ground, stand in your boundaries. It's nearly over. Pour into yourself, wait for, you know, new goals, new ships, new everything to pour in. So that's what I have with that. I also couldn't help but not notice the Hermit on the bottom of the deck. So that's another card. You know, it's about introspection. Maybe, you know, making sure you go into that solitude mode and retreat and just look to your inner guidance. Do some soul searching about it. A lot of the answers to what we need are inside of us. It's just our outward emotions get into the way. But with this Eight of Swords in reverse, that's you taking off the rose-colored glasses and removing a lot of the roadblocks of the things that were getting in the way from you understanding the deeper lesson. Just, take care of yourself. You overcoming these obstacles is going to revolve around a lot of self-care and a lot of acceptance. So, moving on to the next thing, let's see, what should the Libra Collective focus on, Spirit? What things should the Libra Collective focus on during this retrograde? What should be points of focus for the Libra Collective? Is that one or two? Points of focus for the Libra Collective, Spirit. What should the Libra Collective be focused on this retrograde? Look at that. Love it. All right. So, and then we do have the Two of Cups on the bottom of the deck. But what popped out is the Queen of Cups, followed by the World, followed by the Four of Pentacles, and followed by the High Priestess. What you need to be focused on is self, Libra. This is a lot of self. It's a lot of mastery. It's a lot of, your intuition, your emotional attunement, your emotional balance. But let's go over all that. You have the Queen of Cups here. That's water energy, Pisces. So some of you may have water, heavy water in your chart. You might want to look at your Mercury placements. Also your Venus, Sun, Moon, Rising. You know the drill. But the Queen of Cups is about nurturing not only others, but yourself. Like, you can't pour from an empty cup. You have got to show yourself tenderness, compassion, be emotionally aware of your own feelings and just really balancing that out for yourself. You also have the World here. The World is all about fulfillment. It's completion. It is, you are now feeling whole. What you need to focus on is your own wholeness. Like, should a breakup or an ending be imminent in this situation, especially with the Ten of Swords, and there's just no recovery from it, that is symbolic of you completing a cycle. And with the completion of a cycle, it's the completion of lessons. You've learned something. You went through an entire ordeal that taught you valuable lessons, even though some of them may have been hurtful, but lessons nonetheless that show that you've completed a cycle, and that's mastery of whatever that lesson is that you can apply moving forward. You have the Four of Pentacles here. That's Earth energy, Capricorn, but that's about stability. It's conserving your own resources, saving money, putting yourself on a budget, being more frugal, financially cautious, which, with the overcoming of the obstacle, remember one of the warnings was this Queen of Pentacles who can do emotional spending to help ease the pain of other things. But I think here with what you should be focusing on, when this situation manifests, if it does manifest, is you taking care of you. And, that fear of scarcity and, that fear of holding on to your coins tightly, honey, setting a budget, making plans, really sticking to them so you can get to your next level with whatever these, this growth and expansion is you have coming. And then you also have the High Priestess here. One of the greatest cards in the deck, and especially for it to come out with what you should be focusing on, that means your intuition. The High Priestess is water energy. I want to say Cancer specifically, but it's about your divine feminine, listening to that wisdom within, really paying attention to your subconscious desires. What is your subconscious saying? When you're presented with situations, what is that voice inside of you saying? What is it telling you to be aware of? We know the answers to a lot of things. That little feeling inside of us that gives us those warnings, or it gives us that feeling of green light. That's our intuition. The High Priestess is so self-aware. She is so confident in her inner wisdom, in her inner knowledge, that she don't even have to speak much. She already know what it is. So it's Spirit saying focus more on following that little voice inside of you and letting it guide you, and just making sure you are pouring into your cup. This entire spread right here, and we have the Two of, I forgot to mention that because I like to look at the bottom of the deck, but the Two of Cups is also on the bottom of the deck with what you should focus on. So, and that doesn't always mean, it could mean a new union. It could be a new partnership, but what it also could mean is emotional balance. You know, two is the number of balance. Two is the number of choices, and it's you focusing on making choices that bring you an emotional balance and just make you feel bonded, you know, and sometimes that bond doesn't have to be with another. It's just you kind of filling your own cup. Love on you. We are dual creatures. It's duality, you know. So your focus should be just understanding things from a higher perspective. The High Priestess here, you've completed a cycle, you know, emotionally pouring into yourself, not being super hard on yourself because of what you went through. It's understanding that whatever it is you went through was necessary for you to complete a cycle to unlock your next level, which is going to bring me to the last point of advice. Let's see what Spirit just has in general, overall. Looking for advice from Spirit for the Libra collective, just in general, during this retrograde, just anything Spirit wants Libra to know, be aware of, insight, guidance, something helpful, you know, just whatever it is. We have Judgment that came out in reverse first, asking for more clarity on advice from Spirit. What does Spirit want the Libra collective to know? Just whatever Spirit thinks is necessary, beneficial. Ace of Swords. Asking for 2 more cards of clarity for advice from Spirit for the Libra collective during this retrograde. What does the Libra collective need to know advice-wise? You've got the 10, you got the Judgment in reverse. You've got the Ace of Swords upright, the 10 of Wands upright, and then you also have the Empress upright. So, you know, with the Judgment coming out in reverse, I feel like that's fire energy, but I feel like, you know, Spirit's advice is make sure you're not being overly critical on yourself, overly hard on yourself. Make sure you're looking at whatever the circumstance of this, the obstacle, you're looking at it from a heightened perspective rather than, you know, your lower self. The Judgment in reverse, you know, it's lacking self-awareness. It's, you know, ignoring the calling, maybe like ignoring the lesson, so to speak. It's you being really hard on yourself, your worst inner critic, maybe not being practical about the situation. It could be you harboring immense feelings of resentment, and which is blocking you from seeing the higher lesson in the entire ordeal. It also could be you in a state of, you know, vengefulness, like punishment, or even punishing yourself. You know, it's about, Judgment calls for you to look at things from a higher perspective. So with it being in reverse and advice from Spirit, they're saying be mindful that you're looking at this circumstance from your higher self rather than the lower. You also have the Ace of Swords here, which is air energy, Libra specifically, so that's your energy right there. And that's just you being able to have a new beginning with a different perspective. Like you have gotten clarity on a situation with whatever you're going to navigate, you're currently navigating, what's on the horizon. You have gained a new perspective about this, and you're able to move forward and, you know, move forward and apply the lessons that you learned in a healthy way. You also have the 10 of Wands here, which is fire energy, I think Sagittarius specifically, but you know, with the 10 of Wands here, it's you feeling burdened and overwhelmed. Like, you know, maybe all of this took quite the toll on you. Like you felt stretched thin. There was too much poured on you. You had to maintain all of the pressure of keeping things afloat, whether that was work, whether it was a relationship. You might have really felt like you were the glue holding everything together, and there was just so much weight on you. And with it being in your advice, there's a need to release that weight. There is a need to relieve yourself of some of that pressure, because the next card out is the Empress, which is literally Libra energy. Once again, your energy is screaming in your advice from Spirit. Also Taurus energy, because that's what the Empress represents, both Taurus and Libra. But the Empress is the Empress. The Empress is feminine energy. She's nurturing. She nurtures self. She's everything. She's abundance. She's growth. She's evolution. She's she's everything. She's the bee's knees. She's just protective. She's maternal, but most of all, she takes care of herself, and she's so in tune with her divine feminine and so in tune with meeting her own needs and knowing what she demands of another person as far as fulfilling her needs and what she will and won't tolerate. Like, your advice is make sure you are looking at this lesson in the right way. Move forward with a breakthrough and clarity from this situation so you can release the burdens of what you've been carrying and truly be in your Empress energy and nurture yourself. So that is what I have for that. So I do want to pull an Akashic record card because I've been doing that for all the signs, and just get some messages from, past life messages of things you might be learning in this life, because, we know we carry over karma from past lives, and your Akashic records contain the answers to some of that. So let's just see what messages we have from that, higher self, and just whatever spirit wants to reveal for you to know from the Akashic records. Spirit, last shuffle, messages for the Libra collective from the Akashic records. So you have pause, and you also have release. So pause is you're being asked to pause before making a quick decision and moving forward. Allow yourself to step back, look at the possible outcomes, and make sure you're heading in the right direction before moving forward. Release is you're being asked to release any toxic people or situations from your life. You deserve to be free of all drama. And this is the first step to achieving that. Like, you've got this strife going on. You've got, I'm going to move these over here so we can see. You've got this strife going on, things that are like really blocking you from really seeing your fullest potential and flourishing because you're putting such a focus on these negative things, even down to the point of you being overly critical on yourself. Like, I hate my face. I just hate everything. So Spirit is calling you to just release that. It's time to, it's over. This is about to be over. You are at the end of a cycle, and it cannot get anything worse. It only gets better. Let it close. You fought the good fight. Unstick yourself. You fought a good fight. Pour into yourself emotionally. Get back to that more simple time when things weren't so heavy. Set new goals, new plans, soul search. Pour into yourself. You have completed a cycle. You have mastered it. Make new plans and just new structure to build yourself in a different direction, and make sure you're paying attention to that voice inside of you and just really filling your own cup, if anything, even if it's not someone else. Because a lot of times people go through things and you don't even want to be bothered with someone else right away. And you shouldn't be, honestly, because you need to heal, especially with this hermit here. But it's about just making sure that you are seeing this from a heightened perspective and taking care of yourself. And with pause, you have that here as well. So it gives you a minute to make sure you're looking at things from a higher perspective, especially with this warning from Spirit with judgment in reverse, to just make sure you're not basing your decision making off of low vibe feelings. You want to just make sure you're looking at it from a heightened place and being in hermit mode and kind of just paying attention to that inner voice, isolating, withdrawing, so it removes the background noise, will allow you to do that. So that is what I have for you, Libra. Thank you so much for tuning in. Don't forget to like the video so you guys can access your energy, and we're the Forever Bliss collective. So the more you like the videos, the more it sends a signal to the universe that you want to hear the messages that they have come out, in these readings. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel as well so you don't miss future readings. And if the reading did resonate, you have some of this going on already, or if some of this does manifest and you remember, come back, let me know in the comments. But with that being said, good luck on your retrograde, Libra. Try to keep it as balanced as you can. But in the event you do have to show your ass, go ahead and spin those scales in a 360 and knock the whole room out. And that's what I have to say. Bye, Libra.